So I tried to hold off until September to pull out my fall decorations. I'm down here in my storage room with all of my decor bins. I'm going to pull out the fall ones, store the spring summer stuff that I have out, which isn't a ton, and show you a few ways that I try to decorate that don't bring a ton of clutter into the house, as well as how I organize my decor and the fun touches that I have. I'm just really excited for the weather to get a little bit colder. It's still actually pretty warm here, but I'm going to bring the fall season inside, and if you want a little bit of inspiration, hopefully you enjoy this video. So let's pull out the bins. After pulling my bins out, I also pulled out some fall candles and fall soaps, and I have fall specific essential oils, which I'll show you a little bit later. And although I was very excited and pulled that stuff out before we jump into things, I decided I wanted to make myself a little fall latte. There are pumpkin spice lattes already out at most coffee shops, it seems like. First of all, they're expensive, and second of all, they have a bunch of ingredients in there that I probably don't want to be eating. So I'm making my own fall pumpkin spice coffee creamer that I can keep at home, and I'm also going to show you how I'm going to save it so it lasts a really long time. I'm going to link the recipe that I used. I loosely followed it. You'll see I didn't do any measuring, and I didn't add sugar to it. I added maple syrup to just do a little bit more of a natural sweetener. And after that came to a boil, I let it simmer for a little bit, and then I'm going to have it cool down, and while it cools, start to tackle the decor, the most exciting part, I think. And I wanted to start in my entryway. This is such a fun area for me to decorate every season. I always like to switch out this cute milk jug vase that I have with different florals. On top of those stacked books, I can change out the candles. I had a little tiny decorative pumpkin that was black from the Target dollar spot that ties this area together. My mother-in-law got me that ivory colored pumpkin, and the cool thing about that is it actually has a real pumpkin stem on it. It is kind of like a bean bag, sort of like a velvety bean bag, which is really nice. And then I decided I wanted to also try and not use this garland as an actual garland like I tried in the past and drape it and swoop it from side to side, but I thought I would just kind of intertwine it around the decor that I have on top of the table. It lights up, so you'll see I turned it on. It's hard to see because it's still daytime, but it has cute little twinkly lights and leaves, and I think it kind of just ties everything together. And this is one of the areas that I can cover the space a little bit more with decor because it is just a decorative spot. It doesn't have a lot of functionality. That bowl is empty. We keep different cards in there, so if we have wedding invitations or baby announcements or things like that, we put it in there. Holiday cards we'll put in there, but it is empty right now. Next up, we're moving into the kitchen, and I got this candle holder, I want to say springtime, but before the beginning of summer, and I bought some pretty rocks to put in there and some succulents for the spring and summertime, and loved the way it looked. I knew I wanted to try and put these small decorative pumpkins in here. I thought they might look good too. I wasn't sure if I was going to leave the black rocks or take them out or not, and decided to just start with leaving them, and if I hated it, I could always go backwards. And as I was starting to put the pumpkins in, I just felt like it was too black and white, and realized some more spring summer decor that I had to put away were the lemons that I had on my kitchen countertop, and there were some green sprigs, some little stems, very, very small ones that I had, and figured like those might look kind of nice interspersed in between the pumpkins, and the rocks made it easy to stick them in there so they stay nice and put. The question I'm having, and maybe you can help me answer after you see a little bit more of what I do in the rest of the kitchen, is how do these candles look with the pumpkins? The pumpkins seem to be more of a true white, and the candles are more of an ivory or off-white. Should I get some candles that are more fall colored to really tie it all together, like the orange of my sweater, or some burgundy, or mix a couple of different fall colors in there, or just leave it as is? I think this candle holder is going to be so fun to decorate over the different seasons. And I know I was saying before spring/summer, I do typically keep my decor the same spring and summer. So the only seasons I really do are fall. I also do winter. That one kind of has two parts to it. One part that is more like Christmassy and Hanukkah and actually has things that are associated with those holidays. And then I try to transition it over to more just winter that has winter florals and like snowflakes, those types of decor, and then spring/summer. So those succulents stay for a couple of seasons. I was really happy with how that tablescape looked. And then now the pumpkin spice creamer is cooled. So I am going to show you how I'm going to save this because the recipe said that it can stay good for about a week in the refrigerator. And I know I'm going to not be able to use up this whole thing in a week. So what I decided to do, because the woman who wrote the recipe said that she used about 2 tablespoons per cup of coffee, I figured this would be a perfect use for my super cubes and poured the creamer into the super cube tray. If you are not using these to help prolong the life of basically everything you're cooking in your kitchen, you are missing out. They come in a bunch of different sizes, but these 2 tablespoon ones are perfect for this creamer idea. And I'm gonna freeze them and can put them into my warm coffee and have them melt that way. Or you could use them as like a fun little floating ice cube in an iced coffee. Either way, it would work great. And then the rest of it, I'm gonna put in a small Tupperware and keep that in my refrigerator to use for the week. You'll see I don't go crazy with the decor, but one of the places that has always been my favorite to decorate has been little corners of the kitchen countertop. This one I have kind of gotten down. It's basically what I do every fall or some variation of it, so it's really quick and easy for me to do, and I love the way it turns out and brings just a little bit of color. Then for the island, I'm going to clean it off, wipe everything down. I have a few things on the countertop that I'm thinking about using in the bowl. In the bowl right now, I have a more springtimey mini wreath and a lemon candle. So those I'm gonna switch out. Previous fall seasons, the small white pumpkins that I put on the kitchen table in the tablescape with the candles, I had put in that bowl, but since I moved them over, I ran over to Kirkland's. They were having 50% off all of their fall wreaths. And so this wreath, I want to say, was supposed to be $20, and I got it for like $9.99 or something like that. So it was a pretty good deal, and I liked the orange berries in there. Thought might as well bring it home and give it a try. So you'll see I'm not cutting the tag off or cutting the wreath hanger off. I'm just going to see how it looks. So I put that in there and put one of the fall candles that I have, this apple weather one from Bath & Body Works. A lot of times I don't burn these candles. Sometimes I do. I'm trying to move away from burning candles, but like to still use them as decor to bring in some more fall vibes. And then I had some more white pumpkins. They are different from the ones that I had on the kitchen table. I painted them white a while back. They were from the Target dollar spot and they used to be orange. So I painted them white and thought maybe I could add those in there as well. So again, looking for an opinion. Did you like it before I added the pumpkins or after? Another great way to bring in some quote-unquote seasonal decor is to bring it in with your cleaning products. I like the Mrs. Meyer's cleaning products, especially the seasonal ones. Fall and winter scents really get me. This apple cider one is so fresh and clean smelling. In the winter, I like the Iowa pine and I also like the peppermint. And kind of all three of those, I think you can use really any season, but it's fun to save them just for those occasions. And with the colors of the soap, oftentimes it looks like decor. So keep an eye out for cleaning products that help bring in the spirit of the season without bringing clutter into your home. I am cleaning off all my surfaces with the Jaws kitchen cleaner that you can use all year round as well, but it has an orange clove scent to it, which is also a very fall scent to me. So it was helping get me in the mood today. These pillows aren't necessarily fall decor, but they are new, and I was testing them out for a little bit to see how we liked them, and we decided to keep them, so I'm going to cut the tags off of them before I get to decorating the rest of the living room. The main area I can decorate here is on top of the 2 entertainment units on either side of the fireplace, mostly because Owen can't reach that area. Anything else needs to be kid-friendly. So the first thing I'm going to do is replace the stems that I have. That greenery I'm going to put in my spring decor bin. Brought over most of the remaining stuff that I have, and I'm going to figure out where it goes best. I don't have a replacement yet for fall stems that I want to put into this bin. And you'll notice I really only had one new item of fall decor, that mini wreath that I put in the kitchen. Other than that, I don't like to go out and buy a bunch of fall decor just because there's new stuff out and it's really exciting. I like to decorate first and then see where I have gaps and really have pointed searches for the types of things that I want to bring into my home. Otherwise, you're just gonna start to bring more clutter into your house. You're gonna buy decor that looks beautiful at the store and not have a place to actually put it in your house, which is counterproductive and not the point. A lot of the other videos you might find on YouTube that are fall decorate videos or fall decorate with me usually do the opposite of what I'm doing. They go out and buy a bunch of decor. I think it's a great way to show you the things that might be in stores. So if I do have more gaps and go out and find stuff, I will share it in future videos and we'll do like an updated fall decor or maybe a fall themed sophisticated Saturday where I add a few more fall touches in if there are those gaps. But if not, we're gonna keep it simple and leave it as is. The last touch I have is this plush pumpkin that I can put out in Owen's reach, and he's learning the word pumpkin, so it's very exciting that he can actually play with this one. I just wanted to also take this chance to finish picking up the rest of the living room so it looks nice and clean. So before we get to a little bit of baking, I want to talk a tiny bit more about the storage that I have. So this is the spring decor bin. Now these larger stems are newer to my collection. These I had before. So these fit in this container just fine. And I have the vase filler, and I also need to label this one as vase filler. Try and angle this and see if it fits okay. I think it'll squeeze in there. And then I have the wreath, and that is it for spring decor. So you'll see that I switched the containers out. And now that I also have all of the fall decor placed, this is a really good time to go through and see what I didn't put out and what I didn't use and maybe what I can declutter. So in here I have these 2 salt and pepper shakers. These I'm going to keep because I don't want them out on my table, but I could see using them if I'm hosting like Thanksgiving or having people over for a nice dinner in the fall and wanting to use these. This little mason jar, I think I might even pull out more towards Halloween time because it's black and white. So we'll see if I use that. These I honestly might get rid of because it's like a burlap, and I think that's a little too farmhouse for my style. Same with these, they're just wooden and burlap. I might be able to reuse these for different crafts, or I could cut them off of the burlap and see if I'm gonna repurpose them. But I'm going to pull them out of my decor pile, keep the little mini garland thing in here to put the smaller lighter garland away. And then, same with this sign that says Welcome Autumn. I got it from the Target dollar spot a while ago. I think it was $3. It looked really good in my apartment and haven't really used it. I mean, maybe I could set it up in here. Let me try it in the entryway. And then, I didn't even see that I had this little fall sign. I might try and put that over towards like the TV and stuff. So I'm going to try this out, but I'll probably get rid of these and then reevaluate. So now I think we can do a little bit of fall baking. These are my go-to fall pumpkin muffins, and I'm gonna make a double batch because I'm gonna make some in a mini version, some in a full-size version. That's because I'm gonna make little ones for Owen to eat, our son, and not put chocolate chips in them, and then bigger ones for us to eat and add some chocolate chips in there. The nice thing about this recipe is that it is a blender recipe, so you don't have to dirty any bowls or any mixing spoons or anything because the blender does all of the work for you, and it's made with oat flour, and you can make your own oat flour very easily in the blender. You just put raw oats in there and blend it up, so that's the first step. And after you get your raw oats blended, then you can add in the rest of the ingredients, except for the chocolate chips. If you're gonna add those you'll just wanna stir in at the end. But you'll add in all of your ingredients and blend it up. I will note that this time I did reduce the amount of sugar just because I'm gonna be giving them to our 20-month-old, and I try not to give him too many sweet things. It was still really great with probably 2/3 the amount of sugar, I would say. But I'm telling you, if you're gonna make a fall muffin, these ones are it. They're so moist and fluffy, and the pumpkin flavor is just perfect in here and not overpowering. Muffins are blended, so I grabbed my mini muffin tray as well as my regular sized muffin tray, sprayed it down with some nonstick spray, and decided that I was going to first fill up the mini muffin tin. Focus on my kid first, and the rest I'll have for us. So however much is left over, that's how many big muffins I'll make. I just used a smaller size cookie scoop. I have 2 different sizes, which are very helpful for making cupcakes and muffins and things like that, so you can get the perfect scoop every time. I didn't worry about how much I was filling these, really. They should just be about 2/3 full. That's kind of a good rule of thumb for muffins or cupcakes. And of course, these are going to cook a lot faster than the larger size. The recipe is for, again, mini muffins, so it gives you a time for mini muffins, but doesn't give you the time for the larger size muffin. So I just took the mini muffins out when they were done and then kept an eye on the large ones and used the toothpick trick. Just stick a toothpick, or if you have a cake tester that's reusable, you can use that as well. Stick it in, and if you're getting goopy chunks, it's nowhere close to done, but if you're getting a few little sticky crumbles, it probably needs just a little bit longer. It should come out clean when you stick the toothpick in and pull it out, and that's how you know it's done. One last thing I said I was going to mention, I am adding some essential oils into my office here. I do not recommend having a diffuser on top of your printer, but I have 2 printers here right now, and I'm being very careful with the water. Not a place that I want to store it long term, but I pulled out a bunch of my fall essential oils, which I'll link in the description box below. There's a pack that you can purchase of these. They are pre-blended and have so many great scents. It just brings in such a warm, cozy scent to your home. And like I said, I'm trying to avoid burning so many candles. Once the muffins were done, I pulled out my cake stand, and I am going to arrange all of the muffins together, both mini and large ones, in a nice little circle there and make a fun tower so it's on display. It almost right now kind of adds to the fall decor because of the color of it, and fits right in with the other things I have in the kitchen. That is it for this fall decorating video. I hope that you got some inspiration to decorate your home. Know that you don't have to have 5 different tubs of decor for each season, just to bring in a little refresh and to make it feel like fall in your home. And hopefully you try one of these 2 recipes, either the pumpkin spice creamer or the pumpkin muffins. I'm telling you, they're both delicious. Stay tuned because I'll have some more fall content sprinkled in throughout some more of my videos throughout the next few months. But until next time, I will see you all later.